Oh, right. All right, let's get this coffee flowing. Oh, boys, I don't know. This Nexus Prime. Oh, right. Is it wait? Yeah, the Nexus Prime. I don't know. How's everybody doing? Hey, how's everybody going? Smash that like button, please, and thank you. And subscribe if you already haven't.
And there are characteristics microscopically that can classify hair into one of three racial categories,
which are Caucasian,
Negro,
or Mongoloid.
Negroid.
Hairs found at the Tucker crime scene appeared to be pubic and did not appear to be from the victim or her husband. They were positively identified as Negroid in origin. This was another possible link to the Carolyn Hahn murder case. 3 years earlier, at the time of Hahn's murder, a black male wearing a mask had raped a number of women in the same neighborhood. The masked rapist was never apprehended, and Horgus always suspected that there was a connection to the Hahn murder.
Actually, the same day the Carolyn Hahn body was found, another old lady was in her house, and this male with a mask and a knife burglarized her house, got her, and actually he did some sexual activity with her.
Ooh.
Richmond police,
You got it on
Washington police,
the hard way.
help from the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit in Quantico, Virginia. This unit has interviewed hundreds of serial killers to learn what similarities exist in their psychological makeup. They were able to predict a number of important things about the killer.
We get in and look at the behavior that's left by the offender in the commission of this crime. We believe that by looking at that behavior, we can interpret the type of offender that may have committed the crime.
A hot offender.
The fact that the strangler attacked his victims in their homes suggested that he had stalked them first and knew precisely when to strike. The FBI concluded that the perpetrator
knew.
was between the age of 18 and 30.
69.
A quiet type, a loner, who held a menial job. He probably had a troubled relationship with his mother and began his crime spree with arson. Historically, many serial rapists and murderers begin with arson.
They like fire.
Murderers are usually white, but could be any race. He lived or worked close to where he committed his first crimes. That's because begin their crime sprees in an area where they feel most comfortable. He took sadistic pleasure in his victims. He would periodically release the bindings so he could hear his victim plead for her life.
It appeared that the perpetrator had intended the victim to suffer considerably. In one case, a shoe impression was found on the victim's back.
And it's not clear whether they were dead when he did this or alive, but he also masturbated on his victims.
And it was these semen samples which would prove to be extremely important pieces of evidence.
I can remember our prosecutor, Helen Fahey, a couple of days after the murder, asking me if this was going to be a DNA case. And I'm kind of, I don't know. We don't even know what we have got yet.
What's DNA?
When Susan Tucker was murdered,
What-
DNA
what-
evidence was still in its infancy.
Exactly.
The first time
What's DNA?
evidence was used in a criminal case was
Oh,
only
God.
earlier in England.
I
When
shouldn't
DNA
laugh.
from a semen sample was used to convict a bakery worker with the rape and murder of two 15-year-old girls. Orgus decided to try this new DNA testing, sending the semen stains from Susan Tucker's nightgown to the Life Codes laboratory in New York. The final results from the DNA test would take up to 10 weeks, but Detective Orgus still didn't have a suspect.
Dear Dr. K, I used to think I was never meant to be beautiful. I was teased because of my teeth. I didn't like the person looking back at me in the mirror. I never thought I could afford dental implants. You and your team worked within my budget and helped me feel confident in the plan we made together. I love my new smile. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cynthia.
Introducing our new lifetime warranty on zirconia arches, only at Clear Choice. Call to schedule a free consultation.
Mopping is hard work, but I thought it was the only way I could get my floors truly clean. And then I tried the Swiffer Power Mop and realized that floors.
Oh, that's what's on today? The NFL draft? Oh, God.
And the pads, hundreds of strips, scrub away sticky messes, even from brow whites. Okay, Power Mop. Plus, it's 360-degree swivel head, cleans up along baseboards, and even behind the toilet. So ditch the bucket and all the hard work that comes along with it. With the Swiffer Power Mop.
The safe light, you can get that fixed now and pay later.
Fix now, pay later.
SafeLight offers flexible anywhere mobile service, so you can get it fixed here, or here, and pay later. Go to SafeLight.com today.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Hey, I'm checking in.
Oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
I love Skinny Pop.
Anyway, what's your name?
Jennifer Aniston.
Skinny Pop, popular for a reason.
I got 2 words for you. Loyalty program. Snag this hotel for $250 a night. You didn't check Trivago? I got it for $155. Yo, Benny, this guy didn't check Trivago. No, you have to check Trivago. Look, on Trivago, you can compare prices from multiple different sites. And loyalty programs and prices from hotel websites. Same hotel, $100 less. 2 words. Check Trivago.
Benny. Check Trivago to compare prices and save up to 40%. Hotel? Trivago.
I finally got the viral from Honeylove. It is crazy that you can get this much support from a bra that has absolutely zero underwire. It's totally invisible, even under the tightest tops. I finally found an underwired-free bra that's actually comfortable. No back fat, no spillage. It doesn't stretch, doesn't sag.
crossover bra risk-free today at honeylove.com.
This is the true story of Alex. Recently promoted, he was earning more, but investing for the future, I definitely needed a plan. With his advisor Dennis, Alex invested his savings into 3 accounts. One for now, one for later, and of course, his retirement. A plan in motion put the future in focus. The wedding, the barn dominium, kids, maybe kids. The point here, Alex has more than big goals for his future. He's got a plan to get there. JP Morgan Wealth Management.
How often you go in this thing? Daily. There's so much bad information and really good information gets drowned. Those for
All right.
You look like a child.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my copy or not, but his back doesn't go into place, snap into place all the way. Kind of irritating. Take these off for a second.
Detective Horvis suspected the same individual who raped and murdered.
There we go. There we go. It snapped into place this time. Perfect.
Who was committing crimes in the same area but was never caught. So Horvis of Arlington known as Green Valley, the area where the masked rapist committed his first assault.
Oh, he likes to lay his head.
That rapists usually commit their first crime close to home.
If the first rape.
There you go. Don't commit your... Hey, how's it going? Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
I didn't know that.
And as he drove through Green Valley, Horvis tried to recall the names or faces of likely suspects, young men he'd run across over the years who came from that area.
And Horgus started to focus on...
How's your day going?
He had remembered that's the name. And I saw him arrested on January the 29th, 1984. 6 days after Kevin Hong, her body was found.
Spencer's history unfolded. In trouble as a teenager, he had a string of burglary convictions, and even more surprising, just as the FBI predicted, Spencer had first drawn police attention for arson, for setting fire to his mother's car.
That bitch's car gonna burn.
Living in this halfway house just a short distance from where the Richmond murders took place.
Oh, man. Convenient.
Spencer had been signed out during the Thanksgiving holiday, visiting his mother in Arlington, the week Susan Tucker was murdered.
Oh, yeah? Which one did you make? What did you make?
Before the first murder down in Richmond. The fact that he was available for every murder, the fact that he came to Arlington when he did for our murder.
And the FBI was correct about another important detail. Spencer lived in the area where the first rape was committed.
And that happened over there. And at the time, Timothy Spencer was living down here over this hill.
In his mother's house, barely a mile from the homes of Tom and Susan Tucker. On January 1988, police arrested Timothy Spencer. Within hours, they had collected a blood sample, some of his hair, and confiscated his clothing for forensic analysis.
The clothing was scraped down for removing any debris, and once that debris was collected, it was taken to a microscope. Several dozen particles of glass were removed from the debris that was removed from his clothing.
The glass fragments were of particular interest to the police.
Oh, it's got a story to tell everybody.
A1C.
Oh, yeah, what kind of construction?
Type 2 diabetes and no heart disease. Jardians can lower the risk of vascular death, too. Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration.
Wow, these people getting hyper concerned about blood in their urine.
Stop taking it to your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain, tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardiance is a little pill with a big story to tell. If you ask me, it's pretty swell.
Oh shoot! I gotta go down in the car. Almost forgot about that. I don't.
But things happen. Prices climb faster than your paycheck. And every
Time to start losing.
little by little, it adds up. So how do you face it? One step at a time.
Oh, cool.
It starts with a call, then a plan. With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team in your corner. We'll negotiate with your creditors so you pay less than you owe in less time than you think. And just like that, you can get out of debt and back to your employer. When that happens, National Debt Relief is here to help you take action. We've helped over 1 million customers toward a brighter future. And we're here to help you take the first step. Call or visit GoNDR.com to find out how quickly you can become debt-free.
Never, ever, ever.
I thought it was just a fatty liver, but it's actually MASH. It's serious. It's scarring that liver, and it requires more than losing weight.
Resistifra is made for MASH, moderate to advanced liver scarring without cirrhosis, along with diet and exercise. It has accelerated FDA.
Bone problems, or if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to be.
Relaxing, chilling.
Gallstones, gallbladder, inflammation. Stop taking and call your doctor about tiredness, nausea, vomiting, fever, rash, yellowing of your skin or eyes, stomach pain. Tell your doctor if taking fibrosol, clopidogrel, or statins. Side effects include diarrhea, itching, dizziness, constipation.
Restifra made a difference for me.
Ask your liver specialist for Restifra.
After police recovered glass particles from Spencer's clothing, they were examined forensically.
Alrighty.
One technique is called glass refraction analysis. By shining light from different things on the spectrum through the particles, the characteristics of the glass can be plotted on a graph, measuring how the particles bend light. Compared the glass fragments found in Spencer's clothing to the glass particles taken from a broken window at Susan Tucker's home.
We were able to say that that glass that was removed from Spencer's clothing either came from that particular pane or that particular source of glass, or another source of glass that had the same optical characteristics.
When scientists completed the DNA analysis of the semen stain found at the Susan Tucker crime scene, they made a chilling discovery.
And I remember pulling out an X-ray film from the developer and holding it up from these two separate cases and being bombarded immediately that the patterns I'm seeing are the same. I'm seeing the same profile on this case from one county versus this case from the second county, which says to me that the same person's involved in both incidents. Really give you chills up and down your spine to see something like that.
Fargus was right all along. The semen sample from the individual who raped and presumably murdered Susan Tucker matched the semen stains from the...
It was consistent with his family could provide him with a complete alibi for the entire weekend.
And finally, Timothy Spencer's blood DNA was compared to the semen samples of the crime victims.
Once we got a sample from Mr. Spencer to test, we generated a profile that was the same as the profile we got from the evidentiary samples. We had a frequency of occurrence of greater than 1 in a million. So that means that only one person in a million in the population would have that particular genetic profile.
And starting with the first result, the blood type, it was a match, it was a match, it was a match, it was a match.
On July 11, 1988, Timothy Spencer went on trial for his life. It was the first time in the United States where DNA evidence would be used in a serial murder case. It took the jury less than 7 hours to find Timothy Spencer guilty of rape and capital murder. He was sentenced to death.
look, was murders. Year or 2 years earlier, he could not have been convicted. In fact, if this had been 1984 or 1985, he probably would not even have arrested.
But there will be an
All right.
Detective Morgan's Timothy Spencer left part himself at the time. But his name would never have come up.
As America celebrated its 200th birthday as an independent nation, its birthplace, Philadelphia, played host to millions of tourists and hundreds of business gatherings. Philadelphia made history that summer, but not for the bicentennial. It was a mysterious day. 34 people that left a tragic legacy and launched the most extensive medical investigation in history.
Get out now. That looks smoothy.
Summer of 1976 was a busy time for the city of Philadelphia, filled with bicentennial celebrations, tourism activities, and business conventions. It should have been a time of celebration for city officials as well, but they faced a number of unexpected difficulties. Sanitation workers staged a work slowdown over a wage dispute.
No, bastard.
Garbage created serious health concerns. Then there was a terrorist threat. An anonymous tip warning of possible violence at the upcoming American Legionnaires Convention in protest against recent U.S. foreign policy decisions. That convention was to be headquartered here at the Bellevue Stratford Hotel, one of Philadelphia's finest, and it was having some of its own problems. The hotel's air conditioning system was malfunctioning. The repairmen were doing all they could to get it up and running before the convention. Hotel security was also working to make sure that prostitutes stayed away from the hotel during the busy summer season. On July 21st, 4,500 Legionnaires from around the state of Pennsylvania arrived in Philadelphia for their annual get-together. It was a time for business and to renew old friendships.
Everybody was looking forward to it. So it was a jolly old time where we naturally had meetings to attend and so forth, but normally the business would be open by
Hey, how's it going?
and we could then go out and visit the city.
Kind of multitasking right now.
And I didn't know much about it, and I was anxious too.
After 3 days of business and pleasure, the 4,500 Legionnaires returned home. The convention had ended, but a mystery began to unfold. 8 days later, in Williamstown, Pennsylvania, Legionnaires James Dolan and John Ralph died suddenly under mysterious circumstances.
They did.
Attended the convention in Philadelphia.
I don't think we've had two Korean veterans die in the same year, let alone 2 days apart from each other.
The official cause of death, pneumonia. The coroner described their lungs as resembling Brillo pads. Within days, the mysterious first had been that muscles and fever which began as high as 7 degrees. Within 3 weeks, 11 more Legionnaires died.
And I thought,
They're all drunk.
I'm not gonna die. I mean, I have 5 kids. I think you think a lot.
Authorities in the state capital of Harrisburg feared an
God damn
epidemic.
it, and I just cleaned that.
Centers for Disease Control to investigate. Dr. David Frazier led the investigation.
We had a situation in which when we first heard about the column, there were 4 deaths, quickly thereafter we heard of 11 deaths, and the increase from that point. So this was occurring from unknown cause in a major city in the United States, and had to have everybody's attention.
Frazier researchers' first task to find out why some legionnaires were sick and others weren't.
Which, at its most basic, involves comparing what people did in being sick with what people did in stable.
The investigation would be complicated. The American Legionnaires would become the largest and most complicated medical investigation in history.
Legionnaire's disease or whatever.
We got 90 days to get married. You ready?
He's an Egyptian movie star. Don't go to me. Don't worry, don't push him away by my actions.
90 Day Fiancé premieres May 10th at 8
Gross.
TLC.
I thought it was just a fatty liver, but it's actually MASH. It's serious. It's scarring my liver, and it requires more than losing weight.
Restifra is made for MASH, moderate to advanced liver scarring without cirrhosis, along with diet and exercise. It has accelerated FDA approval. Studies are ongoing to confirm benefit. Only Restifra works directly in the liver. It helps reduce MASH and liver scarring.
Before taking, tell your doctor about liver or gallbladder problems, or if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or breastfeeding. Serious side effects include liver injury, gallstone, gallbladder pancreas inflammation. Stop taking and call your doctor about tiredness, nausea, vomiting, fever, rash, yellowing of your skin or eyes, stomach pain. Tell your doctor if taking Fibrozil, clopidogrel, or statins. Constipation.
Restifra made a difference.
Ask your liver specialist for Restifra. What a hotel.
Right? And only $250 a night for my favorite site. What?
You didn't check Trivago. I got mine for $155. You have to check Trivago.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
On Trivago, you can compare hotel prices.
Look, same hotel. $100 less.
All right, here we go.
Check Trivago to compare prices and save up to 40%. Hotel. Trivago.
Opening day, just like we used to. I love being out here with Sam again, especially at the
Come over here.
It's why I wanted more for my symptomatic obstructive HCM.
All right, I didn't miss much
So
again.
I asked my cardiologist about Camzyos. Camzyos, my symptoms are and I can be more active. It's a difference I can feel.
Camzyos is proven to reduce obstruction in heart.
You don't look so.
Including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased with irregular heartbeat and with certain other medicines. Do not stop, start, or change medicines or dose without your doctor. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help for new or worsening heart failure symptoms. Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy, as Camzyos may harm your unborn baby. Camzyos, first in its class to treat symptomatic OHCM.
It's great to be back.
Ask your cardiologist about Camzyos.
How often do you go into this thing?
Daily.
There's so much bad information. The really good information gets drowned.
Those Ferratu is emerging.
You look like a child.
By officers, toxicologists, the CDC was sent to Atlanta for analysis. Samples from the autopsies were also collected and analyzed. CDC investigators had plenty of competing theories. Swine flu was at the top of their list since the symptoms were similar. Parrot fever was also a possibility, a disease spread by sick pigeons. Perhaps a massive case of food poisoning caused by a problem at one of the convention's half-dozen hotels. Was it a new strain of venereal disease called super gonorrhea? The symptoms were similar to super gonorrhea, and there had been 2 outbreaks in other cities earlier that year. Or did the outbreak stem from the rats and the recent sanitation strike, which left mountains of uncollected garbage? And what about the anonymous tip about a possible... Was it possible the Legionnaires had been poisoned? But one of the most puzzling questions was why some Legionnaires developed the disease, while others did not. After Legionnaire Bob McGarry's roommate developed...
Oh, those Legionnaires. Oh.
When I told them what I was there for, they rolled out the red carpet and they gave me a physical like I never had before in my life.
And I loved it.
Type of slava, urine, and anything else that I could give to be sent to the Disease Control Center in Atlanta, Georgia.
What we found, though, in our survey of roommates, was that being a roommate of somebody with didn't increase your chance of getting these things. And that was a very important finding, because it suggested that, first of all, exposure wasn't occurring in the bedrooms there, and it also suggested it wasn't spread person to person.
Within 48 hours, the first specimen boy, the Lassa and Marburg, and the plague. And after 5 days, eliminated many more, including herpes, mumps and measles viruses, as well as some of their top suspects. Blood tests also eliminated the possibility that it was super gonorrhea. The CDC had eliminated a number of possibilities, but they still couldn't identify the killer. Questionnaires yielded some important information.
Among the various hotels we surveyed, the highest rate of illness that looked like Legionnaires was among people who were registered at the Dog Stratford Hotel, and specifically in the weekend.
However, there were some victims of Legionnaire's disease who weren't Legionnaires at all, hadn't attended their convention, and never set foot inside the Bellevue Stratford Hotel.
Indeed, we found that the more time people spent on the sidewalk in front of the Dog Stratford, the more likely they were to get sick.
For some unknown reason, none of the employees of the Bellevue Stratford Hotel contracted the disease.
Because they're in on it.
Common factors. And some had other underlying. When Fraser reviewed the Bellevue Stratford's employees, he discovered that on average, they were 10 years younger and healthier than those who got sick. By now, 27 were dead. The death toll was mounting, and Fraser still had no idea what was killing these people, or how it was being spread.
This is the true story of Ganea, who spent a lifetime saving for retirement, but living off those savings. Scary. Scary. Okay, deep breath. Here comes their advisor.
Our job is to manage the money. Your job is to enjoy it.
And with a plan, earn and save, pay and invest and spend. Family trips, world restaurant tours, and Luke's new tractor.
Right, Mom.
Right. Sorry. What matters is that with Matt's help,
We're getting a lot more enjoyment out of life.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
You don't mind?
Cerebral palsy, spastic quadriplegia, and he's never let that hold him back from anything he's wanted to accomplish. We were told that there's a possibility that he might not ever walk, which is hard to hear. I actually remember that first day like it was yesterday, just coming in, Shriners Children and him being so little. And I feel like that was the first time that I thought, like, this is really going to change his life.
When you call this number or go online to loveshriners.org with your monthly gift, you are changing lives and helping kids like Blake rise beyond limits of what was thought possible.
Shriners Children means a lot to me. They're like my family.
Blake's had so many first steps. His first steps in his walker, his first steps with his birds. It's seeing him do things that we were told he might not ever do. But it's just unbelievable to see the growth.
With your monthly gift of $19 or more, we'll send you your very own Love to the Rescue blanket. A reminder that
Those to the rescue.
into possibilities.
With lots of tears, happy and sad at times, realizing how hard he was working and just inspired by his perseverance and his determination.
Your support makes it possible for children like Blake to receive long-term specialized care.
Thank you for helping kids like me. Because of you, I could walk.
So please, call this number or go online to loveshriners.org
Hey, how's it going?
right away with your monthly gift.
Hope you're doing well.
Indolent systemic mastocytosis may disrupt your life, with symptoms showing up at any time. But what if you can target ISM at the source? With ISM, your body overproduces abnormal mast cells, causing symptoms. Ayvakit blocks the overproduction of these cells. It's a once-daily pill for adults living with ISM, and not for patients with low platelets. Ayvakit may cause serious side effects, including cognitive changes and skin sensitivity to sun.
Hey, how's it going? I'm well. How about you, Dom? Or Boo? My Boo?
Do not drive or operate heavy machinery if you have confusion or trouble thinking. Avoid radiation. Ayvakit can cause harm to your baby and may impact fertility. Do not use effective birth control while taking Ayvakit.
I just finished cleaning.
Saw symptom improvement. Target the source of ISM.
Well, my Boo, I always enjoy you lurking. I like that you watch me. You can watch me whenever.
Dr. Frazier's team were convinced that the agent or cause of the disease came from somewhere near the Bellevue Stratford Hotel.
Definitely anyone go over to
And also developed the disease.
Kylie Boo's channel, subscribe, and give her a like, watch a video. Gorgeous girl, too. Gorgeous.
That it was not waterborne or foodborne. And so we were developing the idea that this might be an airborne infection, but we had some additional questions to answer about it.
But if the agent was inside the hotel, Frazier's medical detectives couldn't find it. And since the outbreak was slowing down, he believed the cause might now be gone. His only hope was that Dr. William Sunder received an anonymous letter saying that the Legionnaire actually poisoned while in Philadelphia. Sunderman turned the letter to the FBI, but Sunderman was an expert on nickel carbonate, a odorless liquid easily transformed into a lethal gas. He did a little of his own research.
Nickel could spread through the air, that it certainly could cause pneumonia, that it caused a particular pattern of pneumonia that was not so different from what we were seeing in the Legionnaire cases as to be obviously excludable.
Tests on liver samples revealed that nickel was present in those who died. But Dr. Sunderman's discovery was not the breakthrough. After days of testing, researchers suspected that nickel was peeling off of the samples used during the autopsies. When plastic scalpels were used, the nickel was no longer present. Investigators were no closer to finding the cause of Legionnaire disease.
There is a possibility that we may never find the answer. However, I will pledge, and I'm sure Dr. Setzer would.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely go sub to her channel.
Continue the investigation to get to the
You won't
bottom
be disappointed.
Over the
Are you going live tonight?
Some of the CDC staff decided to take some much-needed time off. They have been working around the clock to find the cause of the Legionnaire's outbreak without success. There were no new cases of Legionnaire's disease, but still no answers. Dr. Joseph McDade, a CDC microbiologist, and his wife We're looking forward to the Christmas holiday.
Joe, it's been 6 months since this first program.
But what should have been a diversion turned to frustration as friends asked why he and his colleagues were unable to find the cause of the outbreak. Frustrated, angry, and embarrassed, McDade canceled his Christmas vacation and returned to his lab. He pulled the slide of a guinea pig which had been injected with liver tissue from a Legionnaire's victim. It was a slide he had seen times before, but this time, in his deserted lab, he didn't recognize a new vaccine, one Dr. McDade had never seen before.
Oh man, we in some trouble. Never been seen before. That's all what you want to hear.
There's so much bad information and really good information gets drowned. Nosferatu is emerging.
You look like a child.
Travis Fisher wants to live forever. Saturday on CNN and next day on the CNN app.
That's the interest rate you get from your bank? Just open a SoFi checking and savings account, highly competitive APY, no account fees, plus earn up to $400 with eligible direct deposit. Level up your finances with SoFi's highly competitive APY. Asthma. Does it have you missing?
All right, we gotta go.
Get back to better breathing with Fasenra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma. Fasenra is not for sedentary breathers. Serious allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis, may occur. Get help right away for swelling of the mouth, tongue, don't stop asthma treatments, including oral steroids, with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic
Belly. I love my hourglass shoot. I haven't seen it since before.
stubborn fat. One is less downtime.
Ditching the pig.
Now you can save big with your own
There.
mommy makeover.
That's what.
Results are incredible. We just do you. Don't wait. Call Sono Bella today.
Honey Love bras are the most comfortable bras I've ever worn. The best feeling is when you take off our bras. It is not true. Honey Love bras have no underwire, so there's never any digging into your skin. There is some boning on the sides to make it super comfortable and supportive. I love the feelings that it gives me. And one of my favorite parts, no backlash. Never. The back shots are so wide. You can work out. I can run. I can dance. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's supportive. And I will say it again and again and again. Shop bras and more. Risk-free at honeylove.com.
New Cologuard Plus.
Yep.
Colon cancer screening delivered to your door. Check. Don't drop. Check. Nice. Check. Check. Check.
And it detects 95% of colon cancer, similar to colon.
Check it out. Check. The Cologuard test is for people 45 plus at average risk. Negative results may occur, not for those at high risk. Introducing Cologuard Plus. It's the box that checks all the boxes for screening. Ask your provider or request Cologuard Plus online.
Stop acting your age with Rigiette Ready. The 3-in-1 ED med that's up to 3 times faster than pills. Personalized to you, delivered to your door. Get started today at Rigiette.com.
I realized, wow, this connectivity is great. So I figured, hey, might as well give them a shot as well for the mobile service. I'm a 90s baby, so I hear it all the time. Every commercial since I was a kid. Bundle and save, bundle and save. I was like, I'm an adult now. It's time to bundle and save. It was like deals on deals. It was unlimited data. And I got a new phone out of it. It was pretty practically free. Real customers,
with the right audience wherever they are, giving you a premium video partner across traditional TV and streaming with access to the Spectrum TV app, the most watched streaming service in the country. When you advertise with Spectrum Reach, you're entering
She's my boo girl.
1 million households, 60 plus traditional TV networks, and more than 450 streaming networks and publishers. So when your brand is ready to build for what's next, Spectrum Reach's TV advertising is built. Spectrum Reach, built for what's now and what's next.
Drunk.
CDC microbiologist saw something he noticed before as he examined tissues of guinea pigs exposed to mysterious disease. But at first, he thought he was looking at a contaminated specimen.
So they were probably some other medical. And he, I understand, decided to retest those specimens, no longer assuming that these were talents, but on the off chance that this was the case.
He tested his newfound organism with a blood sample from a Legionnaire's disease survivor. That blood sample would contain antibodies which successfully fought the disease. If the antibodies were present, the sample would turn green. McDade looked through the microscope and saw a bright green glow.
So he demonstrated that the bug was present. He demonstrated that Legionnaires developed antibodies that are specific to that. Well, that was the breakthrough.
140 days after the outbreak, which killed 34 and hospitalized 221 others, was officially given its name, Legionella pneumoniae, in honor of the Legionnaires in Philadelphia. And researchers identified an antibiotic which would kill it, erythromycin. But the question remained, where did the bacteria come from?
Where did it?
And how was it spread? By the time researchers knew what they were looking for, they couldn't find it in any of the samples from the hotel. The bacteria had long since died. But researchers quickly discovered its properties. It multiplied in warm, watery conditions and could travel through the air in contaminated water droplets or mist. Since some of the victims never set foot inside the Bellevue's factory hotel, but were on the sidewalk in front of the hotel, Dr. Fraser believes that the bacteria most likely came from the roof of the hotel, from the air conditioning water cooling towers. Inside the cooling towers, warm water is cooled and fades over windows. The excess water falls into a pan at the bottom, which stagnates and fails to drain water. Investigators believe it was here that the deadly Legionella bacteria grew and multiplied. It was drawn up into the air by its powerful fans. Now airborne, the deadly mist of bacteria and warm water flew up into the atmosphere, floated down the side of the building, making its way to the street below. Hotel employees probably developed an immunity to bacteria, or were susceptible because it was younger and healthier than those who contracted the disease. The cooling tower theory was never proven, probably because the bacteria in the Bellevue Stratford's cooling towers had already died. But investigators discovered the same bacteria in several cooling towers in other parts of the country. And when blood samples from unexplained outbreaks were examined, they discovered the Legionella bacteria. Boston, Minnesota, 1957, the earliest documented outbreak. Washington, D.C., 1965, where Legionella killed 16 people. Bob McGarry and Charlie Davis were two of the more fortunate Legionnaires from the 1976 convention. Charlie Davis developed Legionnaire's disease, weeks in the hospital but recovered. Bob McGarry escaped the disease altogether, even though he and Charlie roomed together. Bob was younger, didn't smoke, or have any previous respiratory ailments. But the outbreak had a lasting effect on these two lifelong friends. They lost many of their brothers that summer, and neither one ever attended another Legionnaire's convention.
I was at the wrong place at the right time, as far as that was concerned.
Had it not been for the unfortunate incident that occurred with the rest of the delegation's brothers, I could say today it was a great time, but I was not going to by luck. I seen it once, I want to do it again.
On the night of May 22nd, 1992, Betty Wilson returned home immediately after her Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. She had some last-minute packing to do for a vacation she was taking the next day with her husband. As she walked up the stairs, headed for her bedroom, she found her husband lying. Clearly, Jack Wilson had been murdered. Now, experts couldn't agree.
as I rounded the top of the stairs with my head down and looking up to turn on the light, I saw Jack lying on the floor.
Betty Wilson immediately ran to a neighbor's house and called 911.
Lisa, this is the police department. Talk to me, okay? Were you in the house or did you walk in the house? Okay, you come home and you walk in the house and you saw this person laying on the floor. Who is the person to you? Okay, do you know if the person that is still inside? I don't know. Okay. Now you just go stand there and you don't go back to your house, okay? And we've got an ambulance and we've got the police on the way.
The Huntsville, Alabama police arrived at the murder scene within minutes of the call.
Lying in the hallway was a white male, appeared to have been beaten and also stabbed. He was laying in a flow of blood there in the hallway.
Lying next to the body, the apparent murder weapon, a 34-inch long metal baseball bat covered with blood. The police couldn't locate the weapon to stab him. In Jack Wilson's bedroom, the telephone line had been cut, and the green ski mask was found on top of the bed. They also found an open pistol box with ammunition, but no sign of the gun. There were no indications the Wilson home had been explored for valuables. No drawers had been emptied, no closet searched. Jack Wilson's wallet was on the floor near his shoes.
Oh, my boob.
But his credit cards were. If the motive wasn't burglary, why was
My sexy boob.
murdered? Wilson was a 55-year-old eye doctor, very successful, well-known, and well-loved in the community.
I even hate to estimate how many people that Jack treated absolutely free because they needed medical help and they couldn't afford to pay.
Jack and Betty Wilson had been married for about 14 years. Each had 3 children from previous marriages.
We were happy and satisfied with each other. He met every need that I, my children, my grandchildren had. He was a wonderful person.
The day before, an informant in the small town of Vincent, Alabama, said she overheard a conversation that a man from Vincent had been hired to kill a doctor. That information led police on a long, convoluted journey from the backwoods of Alabama to one of its finest neighborhoods. It ended in a bitter courtroom dispute because of 2 conflicting interpretations of what happened during Jack Wilson's last moments alive.
Doesn't sound good.
When you host, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door. Keep things fresh with the Breeze bathroom. Outlet-free air freshener that fights odors for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom smells amazing.
La 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 la. Donna.
Extra cash. He doesn't wear anymore. And with 0 selling fee, she keeps every dollar she earns. Don't wear it, sell it.
How many children should go to bed hungry tonight? The answer is clear. No child should go to bed hungry. But that's not the reality. Tonight, 1 in 4 children around the world will go to bed hungry. The numbers are shocking, but the children behind the numbers are very real. Imagine 4 children that you know and love. Which one?
And you realize there's not enough to go around. It's hard.
Help deliver food to hungry children today. Visit letsfeedthechildren.org or scan this code to donate $19 a month. They need your help. And every dollar you give today is multiplied 8 times to deliver urgently needed food and essentials to children who are facing hunger and hardship. At Feed the Children, our mission is to end childhood hunger in the U.S. and around the world. And this is your chance to help. Visit this website or scan the code on your screen to donate $19 a month. It's easy, and your gift is multiplied 8 times, so we can get food and essentials to children who are hungry and waiting.
When you're going through hard times, you need someone to be there for you. When you're hungry, you need someone to help you.
At Feed the Children, our name says it all. We get food and essentials into the hands of children and families who need us most. Every child deserves a chance to survive and thrive. And today is your day to make that happen. Donate now. Go
Make it happen, Captain.
and help us create a world where no child goes to bed.
I'm Billy Magnuson, and while I play a tech titan on TV, I'm a bit of a tech wizard in real life.
Hey, WWE.
Be a tech guy to enjoy AMC Plus. With new seasons, movies, and exclusives, it's included with My Spectrum TV. Download the app, sign in with your Spectrum account, and your email and start streaming. Coffee dispenser, dispense. It's not voice acting. You're welcome. Watch the casting on AMC and AMC Plus.
Thank you for dropping that bomb of
TV advertising is evolving. Now more than ever, it gives
whatever we want to call it. Goodness.
with data-driven targeting to deliver your message to just the right audience. Consumers today spend more time with TV content than with any other type of media. And with multi-screen advertising, you can create memorable campaigns that reach your audiences across screens anywhere.
Well, thank you again.
Know that it worked. TV viewers take
All right, we're going to end it here. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will catch you on the next one, definitely.
Live forever? The Longevity Industrial Complex wants you to believe you can. Is it science or snake oil? That's what I'm going to find out.
Kara Swisher wants to live forever next Saturday on CNN.
Wilson was transported to the